I'm going to have an inbox preview look at this kit here, which is the brand new Amusing Hobbies T-90M, the Russian main battle tank from 2024 to 2025 production, and our kit number is 35A070 and 1/35 scale. And I ordered this, I pre-ordered this from overseas, and I just got it in today. I did take the instructions and put them at the top so we can go through the instructions first, and this is probably not going to be a short video, but I'm just going to go through all of the parts in that. I'm not going to try my best not to ramble on too much. I'm going to look at the instructions and look at the parts up close, but there is a ton of parts. This thing is a really chunky kit. So we can see here on the side our T90 brand new, and on the side is just the top there, and you can see our tank there. Nothing special. It doesn't really show or say anything about the markings or anything. It's just basically just looks like a green tank. So we will open it up and we'll have a look at the kit itself, and like I said, it is a there's just quite a number of parts in here. It is stacked, and it's pretty chunky. So I think to start off with, we'll just look at the little the extra page here. I'm not sure why they didn't, because this is a brand new kit. I wonder why they threw this extra thing in here, if they forgot to put it in the instructions or what it is, or maybe they're planning on doing more. I'm not sure, but here's our painting guide, which is just for one tank, and it's the typical the May Day, I believe they call it May Day or Victory Day, the tank with the it's the mandatory paint scheme for Russian vehicles with the St. George ribbon on there, and we've got the color callouts for MIG paints. Not very many. You're only going to need a handful here. So one thing I will talk about is everyone knows, obviously, with the operations going on in Ukraine, nobody seems to include the the Z markings with the with their modern kits, and I'm kind of thinking now, even though I know they would do it with other kits, they are sort of irregular markings. If this had just numbers on it or something, fine. But those markings they put on in theater are just temporary markings, with the V and the Z and whatnot. So you could kind of just paint those on yourself. I don't think it's necessarily a requirement for a kit to have a specific vehicle. Whereas when you think of stuff like F-16s from the Second Gulf War, or from Vietnam, the F-105s, they have nose art, but they also have a tail registration to go with the nose art. Whereas the Z's and stuff are kind of you could see the tank in two completely different places with completely different markings on it, other than say a number. So I can see why leaving it off isn't really that big a deal. It would be nice to have it in there in a brand new kit like this. Would have been nice. But anyway, so here's our paint guide. I didn't want to go on too long. And here's our part sprues. You can see the makeup here of the various ones, and looks like we've got photo etched, and we've got 3D printed parts here, which is pretty neat. You can see there we've got the turret basket, which is nice, and the headlights, and that probably be pretty delicate, but we'll have a look and see. And we'll go into our instructions. Shows us our nice tank here, and we're not getting any information about the vehicle. I do like when they include a little bit of technical specification, but anyways, we'll go into the instructions. I may cough a couple times. I with my voice, I'm just getting over being sick, so you just have to bear with me. But here's our start to it here, and we can see we're going into basically our lower hull. Nothing too special there. And you can see over here, we can see the armor, the extra armored blocks we're going to be putting on for the updated version. And here on the back, which would be specific to the newer updated one. And there's our front, the Glake 6 plate there, and our okay, it's just telling us to watch our orientation there. I was wondering if those the little lights there were 3D printed. But here's our 3D printed headlights and our tracks. Looks like pretty simple tracks. You've just, you know, got the couple pieces there. It doesn't look like there's a jig. We'll have to see if there's actually one in there. And then here's our updated like fenders and whatnot, and the side plates, the armor there. And we'll go into all of our bins and that. So there is no interior in this kit. Our rear deck here. See how they have those. I'm not exactly sure if you can, the way that these flappers are, I'm guessing they want you to put them in that fixed position, but they're usually in that position anyways. But yeah, so it looks like they want you to put them in that specific position. And here's our turret, our periscopes, and our armor on here. And more turret work, and then starting into that, like the mesh armor on there. I wish they would have. The thing I wish they would have done in 3D would have been the mesh armor, because it should be wire. It shouldn't like be a flat piece. But we'll have a look when we get into the parts. Here we go. Here, there's that 3D printed basket. Pretty cool. And our ammunition in the rear. The extra bits there, and I guess we're getting into our sights and things and more armor, and then the last bit is like that little reconnaissance type thing. I'm not sure what that piece actually, I think it's like a sensor for multiple different things, and then you have the like the 50 caliber, like the heavy machine gun there. So in our multi-piece barrel. And that looks like the end of it. So here's an interesting thing though. It looks like we're going to be getting a TOS one, which is, oh, like finally get an actual decent TOS one. This looks like an Armada. If I had to guess, I would say that's an Armada. These two, I'm not sure. If I hold it here, if you look at it, maybe somebody can guess what those are. I'm not sure about this one because it has that smooth barrel with nothing on it. This one almost looks like a T64. If it is a T64, it'd be definitely welcome to get like a new series of T64s, because all we have is the trumpeter ones instead of the, and then we had those old, that weird Ukrainian company that had them years and years ago, which were pretty poor. So if that is a T64, that would be amazing. But if you think you know what these are, then you know, post in the comments, and we'll actually get into the parts now. I'll move the box up here so we can grab our parts and see there is a lot in here. And so this here looks like an add-on thing. It looks like it might be for multiple kits or a throw-in type of thing, because it has its own little instructions. Yeah, these are like a bonus. Oh, interesting. I just saw something here. But yeah, so we got a bonus here of ammunition and crates. That's a really nice touch. But I just noticed here it's got ammo set for T64, 72, and 80. So hopefully we got a whole new... I know that Amusing's done like all the T72s. So hopefully we'll be getting the other series. The 64 is definitely in the 80s. So... hopefully they're in the pipeline, but all this ammunition looks really awesome. I mean, you even have, I think those are the fins when they're open. Yeah, it's the fins when they're open. Really cool. That's a welcome bonus there. So we'll put the, I'll throw them here on the ground. Hopefully it doesn't make too much of a noise in the on the camera there. Okay, so we'll open this up. And this is our barrel. Oh, interesting. I thought that this has got a barrel on it. Actually, here, hang on a second. Okay, no, this is a crossover sprue. I guess there's another barrel on here. I do believe the T90 and the T72 barrel are the same model, but there's a log. Actually, the log is really poor. I don't think we'll be using it though for this kit actually. And so this would just be a common sprue. You can see the old style fenders on there. So you've got some spares. And we'll move into the next here. Okay. I wonder if there's a way I can tell whether these are proprietary to the kit, like if they're new or if they're... I assume this would be a new one. It's got our machine gun in there, and the machine gun actually has an open muzzle on it. That's really cool. And you can see the texture on our armor there. Awesome. Definitely, that's definitely nice. And here's our armor, our slatted armor. Everything looks great there. And you can even see our ammunition feed here. It's, I don't know whether I like that or not. Like, I don't know if I'd rather put that in myself or I mean, it's such a small link of ammunition, but you can see it there, hopefully. And, yeah, okay, so that's that sprue. And, well, since it's right here, I'll just grab it. So here's our turret base, which looks awesome. You can see the welding detail on there. It looks amazing. See our pieces underneath here. And I mean, there's nothing underneath there, but there's all our bolt detail on there. Everything looks great there. And here's the inside of our bins. If you care about that, I'll put it up here. And we'll get the okay, so this is our turret roof here. We've got a piece that came loose, which is perfectly fine considering where this came from. We'll flip it over here. So here's our turret roof. Really nicely detailed and contoured. You can see the complex shape of this thing. I'll go down here so you can see it a little better. Looks excellent. And then here's our barrel, our multi-piece barrel. I suppose you could use either one if you wanted to. You'd have to do more research on it, but I do believe they're the same model of barrel. I don't think there's any external difference. But here's our, you can see the anti-slip texture on all of these parts. Really cool. Even on here is where our gun manlet is. And yeah, so that barrel is actually really nice. And the fume extractor being a separate piece like that is pretty excellent. It's hard to tell. It may be set up for an interior looking at things like this, but I can't say for sure if there will be an interior one coming out. And we can look at it. I'm not going to pull out actually the running gear in that because I'm sure these are common parts, and I mean, we'll just look at them through the bag because there's not much to see here that's anything special. Here's our fuel drums, which are really nice. You're not going to use them anyways because with the armor and stuff there, like, I mean, you can't, I don't think you can even really fix them on there, but they are there, so you've got those for your spares. Then you've got the full length like axles and stuff. And what have we got here? Like here's our tracks. I assume these tracks again would be similar to their other kits. They've got our runners there, which are very highly detailed. You can see the little bolt that holds them down and everything. I'm just going fast through it because I don't want to make this video like 2 hours long, so I'll get the track links out there so we can see them, because it's pretty important. So the links, they oh, they are a little, there's a little dimple in there. So they are click together tracks, or at least they should be, and they look really good. There's not too much holding the like the sprue piece here. Shouldn't be much to clean that up. So yeah, the tracks look excellent. And what else have we got here? I don't know if there's another. This must be a excuse me, a proprietary sheet here. I'm not gonna pull it out again, but you can see the wheels, the proper modern style wheels, and then the anti-slip texture, and then the, you know, just the smooth armored blocks. Like, really nice job they've done on these, and then we're basically detailed on the inside too for the wheels, which is pretty cool. Yeah, if you look close enough, you can see there is writing on the rubber, like right here. You can see there is the writing on there. So very highly detailed wheels. Let's go into, since this is sitting on top, we'll have a look at the lower hull. And so you've got your hatches at the bottom. I think it's always neat that they do that. They put those as separate pieces, like why not? And then here's our fenders. I'm glad that they include the fenders on there, that you don't have to put them on like on the trumpeter kits. It's actually kind of nice that they're on there. So I don't know if this is different than their other kits, if this is a brand new piece too. I mean, somebody will know, because I haven't done any of the amusing kits yet. I've never built any of them yet, so. I think I do have one other amusing kit on my channel, which was the Yugoslavian, I think it was the T-84. And this will be the pretty interesting piece here, which has got all of our side armor in our proper bins and stuff, which look very nicely detailed. You can see how crisp the little like brackets and things are, very crisp. And here's our like rear armored plates there, which all look, you can see all the like rivet detail on there. And our other side here for the bins, and then you can see the little, like how the plates have sort of like a little texture on them. It is an anti-slip texture, but it's just like a little bit of a different texture, which is really neat. In this piece here, I think it can fold down. It's interesting that they included on here. It wouldn't be much to just cut it out and fold it down if you had to have it folded down. And you can see all of the little pieces here, like it's actually properly, these are all like pre-cut out. And it doesn't look like there's any flash in between them either. They look excellent, very thin. And they have that like chamfer on them to make them look even more thin. I really like that they've done that. And here's the inside of our armor plates off the back there, so they're pretty much like 3D. They're not just like on the one side, so like excellent, the attention to detail on these parts. And we'll have a look. We've got still more. Yeah, so I won't go through some of these parts. Like you can see, this is just a T-72 crossover part because it's got that armored plate on here, and then the we've got that front plate there from the T-72, so that'll just be our standard piece. Nothing special to it. And then yeah, so here the pieces that we need are right here, and we'll get them out. Yeah, these are all the updated parts, like I'll try and get them out here. There's lots of complex angles. Yeah, like look how excellent these fenders are, like they with the texture and everything. They really paid good attention to detail on this. Like look at that front plate there, all that extra armor on there. Really nice looking, super nice looking. Then that piece is like, I think is like a big alternative generator or something like that, or like a silent running type thing. I can't remember what it is, but it's on there too. I think all the T90s have it, not just the command versions. I'm not sure, I'm not like fluent in the vehicle itself. And here's our extra little cleats for the tracks and that. Everything looks really nice. All the little brackets, you can see like the detail in here, like this hatch and everything. Excellent. And look at all the weld seams around this piece. And here's like some stringy sprue there. But I'm amazed at the textures and everything. Like they're finally, I mean, paying attention to like close details on these things. Of course, I'm using, you know, they're one of the better companies for doing their T72s. You can see the 72 road wheels and that. Like, we don't have to go through these. These are just basically running gear parts. Nothing special there. And we'll get into our glass here, which is just our periscopes and whatnot. I mean, it's just glass. What can you really say about it? I mean, it looks pretty good. Nice and clear and everything, so. And there's our photo etch, and we've got our 3D pieces. So I used to give you these little plastic, like, storage box thingies for the 3D printed parts, because you can use them for other things and that. So I don't want to pull these out too much because I don't want them to break, but you can see how nicely done they are. There's our basket and everything, and you can see right through it. I don't know if it'll show up on camera, but you can see through it. Really delicate, really nice. There's our little ammunition there. And I say they're well protected in here. And then we've got our little, see if I can get this one open. There we go. Our extra ammunition there, highly detailed. I mean, I wouldn't leave mine open anyways, but I mean, it's there if you need it. And we'll go into the last bit, which will be our, it's taken, which is perfectly fine because this stuff is just like, you know, it's supposed to be netting anyways, but actually it looks pretty good. All of these little studs on here should actually be like little wing nuts. It would have been awesome if they were like 3D printed, but they don't look too bad. Like it would probably pass. And since it's banged up, I mean, it's more like in real life anyways. And you can see our decal, I mean,